Good morning, everyone. My name is Mighty Stream. I'm going to do your January the 4th, just for today, in a meditation. Let's go ahead and get into the meditation. I am smiling ear to ear. I just realized one of my very best childhood friends' birthday is today. So that is exciting me. Oh my goodness. All right. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well today. My voice is a little bit shaky, but we'll get through this together, okay? January 4th, the love of the fellowship. Today, secure in the love of the fellowship, we can finally look another human being in the eye and be grateful for who we are. That comes from our basic text, page 92. When we were using, few of us could tolerate looking someone in the eye. We were ashamed of who we were. Our minds were not occupied with anything decent or healthy, and we knew it. Our time, money, and energy weren't spent building loving relationships, sharing with others, or seeking to better our communities. We were trapped in a spiral of obsession and compulsion that went only in one direction, downward. In recovery, our journey down that spiral path has been cut short. But what is it that has turned us around, drawing us back upward into the open spaces of the wide, free world? The love of the fellowship has done this. In the company of other addicts, we knew we would not be rejected. By the example of other addicts, we were shown how to begin taking a positive part in the life around us. When we were unsure which way to turn, when we stumbled, when we had to correct a wrong we'd done, we knew our fellow members were there to encourage us. Slowly, we've gotten the feel of our freedom. No longer are we locked up in our disease. We are free to build and grow and share along with everyone else. And when we need support to take our next step, it is there. The security we found in the love of the fellowship has made our new lives possible. Just for today, I can look anyone in the eye without shame. I am grateful for the loving support that has made this possible. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer and the third step prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you, God. Grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. God, take my will in my life, guide me in my recovery, and show me how to live. Just for today, please and thank you. You know, I've just started adding the third step prayer, and it's a prayer that I say quite often. And so I put it in the first person. But of course, I mean we. Okay, so I will work on that. The love of the fellowship. Now we're talking about being able to finally look anyone in the eye and be grateful for who we are. I think the spirit of gratitude, when I'm grateful, I have value or appreciation for something. And generally speaking, when I think about being grateful, I don't, it's not natural. It doesn't come to my mind that I'm grateful for who I am. Even though, mind you, I am, it's not the first thing that comes to our minds, right? Because we always associate gratitude with something outside of ourselves, whether it be another human being, or a position, a situation. I think of person, places, and things when I think of gratitude, having gratitude. So let's dig into this, because now we're talking about our being grateful for who we are. There's some of us that fluctuate on that. Some of us really are grateful for who we are. We can finally look another person in the eye and not have a sense of inferiority, right? And not have a sense of any being other than the fact that we're in that moment sharing it with someone. And I'll tell you what, having gratitude for who I am allows me. I want you to listen to this really carefully, because I feel I'm on to something here. Because when I have gratitude for who I am, I don't have to come to the table with a pre or a rehearsed line or comeback. I don't have to come to the table pretending to be interested in who you are. I don't have to judge what's coming from you, what you're saying, what you look like. I don't have to go through any of that. Because if I'm being very honest, I believe low self-esteem, shame, guilt, these are feelings that cause a person to not be able to operate fully in relationships. As an individual is presenting themselves or a situation is coming up, I will always add myself to that. And I think the tendency is for us to try and measure. Let's use that word, right? I think the tendency is to measure who I am according to the output that's coming my direction. That is a constant state of anxiety, worry, guilt, shame, right? All of those automatic negative thoughts. And you can find yourself, surely I've done it, you can find yourself in a conversation and not even present in the conversation, because there is this, I think, just an automatic tendency to run a scan through ourselves, through our being, right? If you can imagine going through, um, uh, at the airport, right? Going through that machine that looks at your body, a scan, right? You raise your hands up, you stand right here. It scans everything about you, including things that might be on your person that shouldn't be, right? So imagine that, but imagine doing it yourself for yourself, okay? So I'm engaging in a conversation with you, and I'm standing there hearing everything that you're saying, and giving the presentation that I'm present with you, that I'm actually listening. But I think listening, but I think what's really going on is that a person is scanning their spirit. They're scanning their outsides. They're scanning their insides. And they are trying to detect the deficits within themselves, according to what is coming towards them, according to the situation and the words that are coming out of the other person's mouth. They're scanning themselves. The love of the fellowship has allowed me to practice opening up, being myself, telling the truth about who I am, and then being able to scan the room, to be able to monitor the room, and look at microfacial expressions, look at reactions, and hear even sometimes responses to what I have taken a risk and shared about myself. And so over a period of time, this is why sharing is important, okay? To the newcomer, sharing is important because I am getting an opportunity to learn a new behavior. I'm getting an opportunity to be able to see they're still hugging me and telling me to keep coming back after I just shared that. Oh, that's nice. I like that. I feel valued. I feel affirmed. I feel accepted, right? Oh man, I'm just almost in tears. I feel accepted. So as I practice this, I begin to see how it's the norm. It's not something that just happens. It's the norm. That's why we tell most formats said they're in the meeting, say there's no cross sharing. Keep the focus on yourself. There is an intention of Narcotics Anonymous to establish a culture of a fellowship that is full of love and receptive, inclusive of all individuals that have a desire to stop using. That's when you are a member. You're a member when you say you are. And their culture to establish this welcoming spirit, this love, that has historically been the case for all 12-step programs. I would say all, right? There's been some, historically, there's been some issues with being able to be inclusive with the Mother Fellowship, right? So Narcotics Anonymous is not like that. Alcohol is a drug. Everyone that has the disease of addiction is welcome here. And so when I'm sharing, I get to experience that. And my brain starts to develop a new understanding. So now what happens is that I can sit down with a person and be fully present. I'm not judging them and I'm not judging myself. I'm not scanning them and I'm not scanning myself. I have gratitude for who I am today. But I got that through the love of the fellowship and my taking a risk and allowing myself to experience the love of the fellowship and learn a new way to live. You know what? I just have so much gratitude just sitting here and saying that. Do you know how dark my thoughts used to be about who I am, about my value? And admittedly, the mental health status was so damaged. But the love of the fellowship has helped me to amend that, to make that better, to restore a healthy mental state, a healthy spiritual state, a healthy emotional state. And the physical state, there's been a lot of progress. People tell me all the time, you don't look like you're almost 60. And I laugh because I know it's my interaction with Narcotics Anonymous and staying clean that has restored my health in many ways. And I'm sure that's the case for you too. So today, this is what we're going to do, okay? Let's wrap up. This is what we're going to do. Today, when you get an opportunity to share, if you get an opportunity to share about your gratitude for the loving support that has made your recovery possible. That's our goal today, is to start hearing ourselves talk about how grateful we are for who we are in the fellowship that has allowed us the opportunity to learn a new way to live. My name is MightyStream. I've enjoyed talking to you. I hope that you will have a beautiful day on purpose.